Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is SOUNDCLOUD, aka AJ Ranger Strong One. Yeah. You know. Well, that's kind of a little zoomed out. Yeah, that's kind of fair. Alright, anyways, welcome to this video. Whoop, hold on. I'm gonna clear some things out real quick. Okay, so today in this video, I am going to be ranking my work with myself, and I'll be working with my other people with my music catalog. So I'm basically going to be doing a tier list for you guys today. This is my first time ever doing a tier list actually, and I just think it's pretty cool because I know all my other friends they do these stuff, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool and inspiring. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So, alright, let's get into this video. So, I'll be basically ranking the. So, basically, S tier is supposed to be above average, which is the great ones. And then when we get all the way down to D level, it's just garbage, okay? So, basically, that's how it's gonna work on how it is with my ranking and stuff. Okay? Okay. So first off, we're starting off with my album, One See It. Eh, I don't know what to say about the. I mean, well, I have a lot of things to say about it, actually. So, my One See It album, I'm debating. I'm thinking One See It was a really great album that became like a vibe to me because this album, when I made the One See It album, was actually like my first piece of artwork that I've ever released publicly. But before this album, and this is a fun fact, I had other albums, but I couldn't include this to the album because I actually lost the picture, so I can't get it to be on here, sadly. I would have released a tier list. That would have been amazing if I actually had a tier list basically based off of this unreleased stuff too. That would be even way cool. Why not, right? I'm just kidding. But I also do want to note something also as well. This will change in the opinion of time over and over because I think maybe in the next time I will do more of this. It's just that I have to grow out my catalog and I'd have to rate it type of thing. I just want to see what the progress is. So, One See It, I think was really a fun vibe, I gotta say. So, I'm probably gonna have to give my One See It album a really, I think it might be a B in my opinion because I kind of find it kind of interesting in a way. I thought it was pretty fair to work on. Um, yeah, so I'm just gonna give that one a B. All right, my next one, Airplane. What would I give this track? So when I was making Airplane, I remembered it was around my church time actually. It was like a song I made because I'm telling you how I made it. I made this song back in, I think it was November of 2024, or if it was October 2024. Something, and it was a Sunday, and I was in my blue bedroom. It was a quiet room, cold if it was in the fall time. Um, I remembered having my tablet, and I'd put it on top of my dresser, and I'd be like rapping and stuff. I did this basically on Heroku. This was around the time where I started to work with Big Soap. There's another cool guy I work with. Um, I think this track, I think it's good, honestly. I mean, I think it's like a really kamikaze type of vibe, if I can remember. Was it kind of beneficial in a way? Kind of. It was sort of like a vibe. So I'm probably going to have to give this one a B2 as well. Okay. Dark Story. This is a track that never really gets talked about in my opinion, so I'm going to give this an easy ranking because it's just I don't feel like I listen to it as much as a person. It's just kind of boring in a way, and in my opinion, I think that's got to be like the one of my worst tracks I've ever put out onto SoundCloud in my opinion because it's like it's this is what it's like. What was it? What's the lyrics? What's the lyrics? Yeah, see, that's another reason I can't remember it. They came to my party. La 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 la. So I'm gonna give this a D because I do remember. I even remembered the release date when I was like. I mean, I don't remember the actual release date, but I remembered releasing this track, and it was like winter time in the February, maybe January, something like that. It wasn't really fun, so I'm probably gonna give this one a D because it's just not really great. Because I don't think it's really good. So, anyways, my most album overlooked. This track, this picture right here, this album right here. My opinion about this album, I gotta say, I like the album. I really did. I felt like I've been explored more with my voice and I expressed out my new hard work. It's pretty cool, like the new style with my voice. It's changed a little bit. This is just showing a breakout from like my earlier stuff, like Yellow and this one. Um, my like old like work into the new style, which is gonna be cool. And then in the future, it's gonna be even great. So if I had to say, it has really great collabs. George and Crimson and Smoker are on this album. Um, I think they're pretty cool. I found a lot of songs, honestly. So, like from them, I discovered in that era that there was like so many cool artists to work with, and listening to different people's music is just so good. So I'm gonna have to give this this album right here. I think it's a S tier because I think it was just really amazing to like come across people and well, actually, I don't even know if I want to consider it S tier. I think A would be a good one. I think it's been really amazing to, like I said, seeing all these other artists, they popping off and they have these cool styles. Like, I was introduced a lot by SoundCloud, a lot with different sound, and it just branches out my music theories and my music interest even more. It just brightens up the horizon. So I think I'm gonna give a overlooked an A. So all right. So my next one, life manipulation. What can I say about life manipulation? Around that time in that picture, I took that picture I think back at the end of 2021. I remembered 2021 was a great year, but really wasn't really a great vibe in my opinion. It's been like a terrible downfall for me in a way. I lost my dad. I used to have been a TikToker, but I guess I lost momentum with my fans and they stopped looking at me and the views just didn't seem to fit the picture. And it's just been really horrible with life manipulation. I'd say it's like the worst time of my life. And I'm gonna give this rating, this life manipulation album, a D as well. Because in my opinion, when I was like making this, like my whole life was, I was really beat it up, and I'm just only giving this ranking as a horrible, like my whole life view on it. This was during making this. It was awful. It was just awful. I had people beating me up. I had people um not listen to me. Things were just uncomfortable around that time. So I'm just only giving that as the D ranking because that's how it really affected my life. It was awful. The songs on there, not really great, honestly, and it's kind of like one See It album. I just don't think it's really worth it, in my opinion, to even say it's even with the range of like the lyrics and stuff. It's kind of confusing in a way because there's not really much of a vibe. I sometimes look at Atari or I look at Scapegoat and Next Level. I kind of look at those, but um, Freedom and all these other songs, they're just not really worth my time. And I don't really like look back at those songs in particular. So I give that a D, a fat D. Okay, fat D. My next one, Positions, featuring Fugal Rhyme. This guy is the first introduction of me and him working together. This is like the first ever song that we've ever did together, and we worked a lot on. He was my first ever type of friend to ever talk with me, and I appreciate his time really. Um, Positions, I think it's somewhat C tier, or yeah, I think it's C tier. I just think it's kind of, I mean, it's great and all, but when you first start collabing with people, like it's like an experience. I'll give that as an experience. But I think it was fun. Like I don't think it was constructed really well with lyrics, if I have to say in my opinion. And collabing with Fugal is amazing. Like it starts to progress all the way up. And so I'm just gonna give that a C. My next one, The Land of Broken Hearts, featuring GGG, Juice World, XXXTentacion, and also, by the way, these two artists is really unknown, not unknown, but it is known to a lot of people. Um, GGG is a person that uses AI, and he makes it. I don't know how he gets this technology. I don't know where. But all I can say is The Land of Broken Hearts. I thought it was okay in the vibe and stuff. The story about the Land of the Broken Hearts, it's just been really painful stuff. Like it's like broken friendships, and it was like an awful type of time, in my opinion. I just, I just didn't like the way how I was being treated, like declined in a way. Like I'll apologize to somebody and they'll not even take it one single bit, like a step farther. So if I have to say, in my terms of critiquing this track, GGG used to have been a really great guy, and I just don't really feel like, in my opinion, we're gonna work on any more songs anymore because he just doesn't want to conversate with me, and I'm not gonna be working with him no more because he has his own business and his own work. So I won't really interfere with that because he's a really busy guy. And when we make these songs and stuff, it's I remembered how he wanted it to be a lot perfect. Like he wanted to capitalize that it had to have been perfect with my voices. I had to send him a lot of songs with my vocals, and he'd mess around with it and try to mix it in with the song, and it just didn't sound great to him. And to be honest with you, I think that's kind of like my, I don't know, top two people I don't really like working with, honestly, because it becomes opinionated and stuff, and I just don't like people who think they have to say my voice doesn't sound great, and they're just not really honest with me. Some of them they are honest with me, but anyways, I think I'll give this thing probably a C as well. Um, I just don't feel like it's really great. But anyways, yellow and gray feelings. I thought the yellow and gray feelings album, in my opinion, I thought that was like a vibe. To be honest with you, I thought that was fun making the album. It was a vibe because I was like starting off my work and stuff and meeting a lot of new people, and it was amazing. I gotta say, and around that time when I was like making the album and stuff, every single day it was like a gray sky. I'm not gonna lie. I look up to the sky, there would be no blue sky, it would just be all gray. And that's kind of not enjoying, in my opinion. So, in my opinion, I think yellow and gray feelings has got to be probably like an A. I think it might be an A or it might be a B, somewhere around there. But I think it might actually just be a B, not A. But I think it's okay to say that strongly. But all right, the next one, Wonder. I mean, not Wonder, but it's off of his album Wonder. Connor's I Hate It, featuring Sunpal, which is me. Me and him, we go on to Big Soap's channel, which is the Minecraft artist I told you guys in the Will I Ever Release Music onto this channel? That type of video. So basically, that's the guy I was talking about. I come across him around when Big Soap starts to stream. This was like 2023. We had a conversation, and I just asked questions, and I met a lot of great people from Big Soaps. And I've got to say, working with Big Soap, Connor, has been amazing because I genuinely love these people because these people really care. They really care about people and what they say. And I've got to say, it's amazing to work with Connor. And so, with this song, when I was working on this song, I remembered um, we're in the new house. I'm in my PC room. I'm recording this. I got the message from Connor from SoundCloud saying, "Would you like to be part of a song for his new album?" And I said, "Yes, I'd love to." And he sent me his beat over Gmail. We talked about this stuff. Where do you want me to have this verse at and stuff. Honestly, when working on this song, I thought this song was pretty easy. I had it like all the lyrics jot down in my head, and when he named this song "I Hate It," I had the exact words to rap on it. It was amazing. Connor thinks it needed more energy, but I couldn't get to that point. But I think, honestly, with this song at the new house and I'm doing great, I think this has got to be probably an A, maybe an A, maybe B. I just think it is. I think it's just it's cool, and I think it's a vibe. And we're at the new house, and I had everything I needed to say. I think it's a B. I think it is. Okay, my next track, Elephant in the Room. And I'm sorry I'm not doing this in order. Please forgive me. But I'm just doing it just because I'm just ranking my whatever it is. Because I just think ranking these types of things, this is cool. This is such an experience. So, Elephant in the Room. My newest single that came out September somewhere. Can't remember the date. But it's been a month since I released that track. Probably was like September 6th if I had to guess. Making this track, we had the new style on BandLab. This is one of the songs I made also off of BandLab. Maybe it might be my third track I've ever put out. on the SoundCloud that is from BandLab, and I think the sound really is amazing, and with the lyrics and stuff, I was clapping back to people who like to make things silent and like to gossip about me, and I just think they're just a bunch of rude people, honestly, and they have some hidden feelings that they never really want to get across to me, and they're really labeled pussy because they just don't really genuinely care. So, a matter of fact, I'm gonna give Elephant in the Room, in my opinion, I think is got to be an A, not S. A. I think we did a good job. I did a good job on clapping back on these stupid people that think they're it, and they're not Jesus. They said they're Jesus, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. They said that they're 100% Christians when it comes to slandering, saying, "Oh, I don't want drama. I don't want drama. We're not interested in drama." Hello, and I'm like, "Excuse me. No, you're not a Christian. Why? Because we must forgive one another, and we have to. It says it in the Bible. If I had to guess where it says it in the Bible, it's in Matthew. I know it's in Matthew because it's talked about it in there. Talked about it in Proverbs a little bit. But honestly, in my opinion, you're not really a Christian if you just be mean like that. That type of rude behavior is just rude, honestly. And God wants us to help one another and do good and turn away from our sins if we can as possible. I know we're in the sinful situation. Life can be very difficult. So let's get that completed. The next track, Exposure, featuring Smoker. This song right here is a single and it's part of the Overlooked album. I think Exposure was a long track that we had to make because it took a long time for Smoker to get with me, and we had a conversation about things happening. And so with Smoker and it took probably like 3 months to work on this song. I remember downloading different beats. I remembered making it in my kitchen, in the living room. Between the kitchen and the living room, there was like a ledge. I had my tablet on top of there, and I made it. And yeah, I just think Exposure. There was like two songs I or not collaborate, combined. I combined those two tracks into Exposure, and that's how I got it. You're probably asking, AJ, what are the two songs? There would have been a song called Hold On. There might be one in the future, but there used to have been a song called Hold On, and well, it is out with Exposure. And the other song was called Smoked Out a Bunch of Kelvins. And that's both tracks that I thought would be pretty cool if we switch it into like a switch beat type of track. So this is like the longest track I've ever released onto SoundCloud by far. Um, I'm not sure if I've ever made any other long songs that I would put out on there, but I would love to make longer songs and make it more interesting and fun to do. So, in my opinion, I think working with Smoker is an amazing artist. He's a really good one. He comes to terms on being serious in a way. I haven't talked to him really much, but I do once in a while talk to him. Not often. He's just really a busy guy, in my opinion, with working with him. And he's in his own life too, as well. He has songs of his own. Um, yeah, I think working with Smoker is amazing. So yeah, so this song I'm probably gonna give it probably between B and C. I think it might be C. I just think it's okay. It's just that I just don't find it to be. I mean, it could have been a vibe, but honestly, rapping in the kitchen slash living room wasn't really kind of good and comfortable to be in because it was like out of place. Like I had stuff around me. It was just out of place. And there's just a lot of stories to talk about exposure. There's just a lot of it. And so, yeah, so. Okay, moving on to the next one. This one is called Retarded Rednecks. And this song became a curse, by the way. If you did not know, that's a fun fact. This song right here became a curse. Yes, it was awful. And you're probably asking, how did it become a curse? Well, when I released this track the day before, well, no, I should say, the day, a day after this song when it was released, it got me to, like I was saying stuff. I was making this song because there's another song as well called Snitches Get Stitches or something. And when I was like, yeah, that's an unreleased song. And I don't think I'll release it actually, but it's not out. I remember talking like about how somebody like tells on this stuff and this and if they do, they get instant karma. Well, when I put this track Retarded Rednecks out, I was working in the ballroom at my old company that I stopped working there because I worked there for 2 years. And it was not fun running the bottle machine. It was like 1990 bottle machine. And I remember there was a lot of disgustingness coming from people's bags while dropping it into the bin for the 1990 bottle machine. It was just scary in a way, but also you had to be very careful around it. So, Retarded Rednecks, in my opinion, is a D. Because it's just, yeah, it can be a vibe. I'm starting to not like listen to it really that much, but honestly, I think it's D because it was a curse and it just was really painful. And I guess what? When I got into the bottles, I stuck my hand. A lady handed me a bag. I stick my hand into it, and get this. I get a huge, massive cut that was wide open. Blood was all over. It was just like if you went in there. I have the picture in my head already. And here it is, by the way, gentlemen. It feels like a rubbery mozzarella ball. It was disgusting. It just gives me the chills. Ugh. So this was not really a positive vibe, honestly. Okay, so next track, Traumatized. This is a single back in 2022. I remembered this picture. This picture was taken from my high school pictures, and yeah, we were doing photo shoots and stuff, and this is one of the pictures that we took also, because as you can see around my neck, there's like, you can see like a little bit of it. I'm holding up like a chain around my neck, and the story behind it is because I was famous for the Drip My Drip TikTok short on TikTok, but I deleted it. I it was like one of my biggest. It is my biggest sauce of a video. It had over 200, 600, not 200, 600. Oh, 260,000 views for making that video. And so that's why I had that chain. Traumatized. I'm going to give this an instant D. I just don't think, in my opinion, I just think it's just not really a track I'd want to listen to, honestly. Because I just don't feel like I want to, like, listen to it. And the lyrics are, like, between life manipulation, like how it's constructed, life manipulation between one see it. It's kind of not really great. And also the time around that, my life started to get really awful. I mean, this was a little bit of the happiest times with my dad when he was around. But anyways, yep, D is the thing I'm gonna give. Okay, My next song, it's a single, Saber. This was 2022. This photo was took at my cousin's graduation. Um, I remember making this, and I'm gonna give it a C. I just think it's not like I just didn't like to be around my cousins because they're just not really great people, and they're just a bunch of just rude people. That's all I can say. They're just a bunch of rude people that never cared. But during that photo, it was only for one cousin. He was graduating, which is a great thing. I'm not really happy with the family though. Saber, I don't really like listen to it. I did a lot of auto tune. I remember there was like different types of auto tune. It was on Veloco. I remember recording it. I remember on my way to his graduation. It was like because I had the snippet before the picture actually happened. I think so. Yeah. Or no, I had the picture. I'm not sure when it was 2022. I know it, but I think before that picture, I think I had the snippet. Was it like a month ago when his graduation was? Like before a month before this, I made the snippet, something like that. I was at my house. Probably was like a summer vibe ish. It's like outside. And yeah, for making this song, it had a lot of different tunes. They're not really great. I'm not gonna say it's awesome because it's just not really worth it. Okay, that's a C. Next one, Perfectly Fine. His album, GGG's album, Perfectly Fine. I had a song on there and I wanted to collab with him. This is like one of our first songs. Well, not really. It's actually my second song I've made with him. Um, when I was making this song, if I can remember, I wanted to be part of his Perfectly Fine album. This is not his whole entire album art, but this is like a single off of his Perfectly Fine. His Perfectly Fine, he has like a cloud picture, and it's just different than the white background. It's like the picture was taken up in the sky and the clouds. And when I was making this song, he messed around with my vocals because it didn't sound great. And so he mixed it around. He had a chance to get this track to be out. And in my opinion, I think this track, I remember when he released it. I remember working in the back, taking a full 24 bottles in a box into like where all the rest of them in like a room. And then I remember there was like a shelf, huge shelf, where it had banana boxes. Oh, so I think it was somewhat of a vibe. So I'm probably gonna give this A or a B, somewhere around there. I think it's cool. It was a cool thing we did a little bit. Um, yeah, I don't really listen to this song really that much, but I can say it was cool. Okay, next one, Struggles featuring GGG, myself, and Fugal. This song I remembered we had a really great connection. I was introduced to GGG. This is like the first song that we've did, me and GGG. This song that me and Fugo made was like the fourth song we made together. And I remembered um, if you went on my Instagram, it's SendPal2, by the way. I have it private so you wouldn't be able to see it, but I remembered we had the progress. We were using Instagram, we were using Snapchat, I think. We were having conversations and stuff, and I thought it was like a really great vibe in a way. And I say that is because I can remember when we were having conversations and stuff. I remembered I was at like Caboitos, which is like a Mexican type of grill type place where they'll, get you your wrap and stuff. So I think, in my opinion, we had a really strong connection. It feels like we were gonna even make a couple more songs with these types of collabs, but we just didn't have enough chances, and so we just broke up with what we had to do, and so, eh. But anyways, I think this track is an A. Actually, I think it's amazing. I think it's awesome that we had a really great connection. I thought that was wonderful how we connected, honestly. Okay, next song. Stalkers featuring Fugal Rhyme and I. This is off of his album called Skywalker. I was on his song. I remembered at the time when I was like recording this song and stuff, I was struggling to get myself a better aux cord because my aux cord kept on breaking and it just stopped working. Like, it just didn't really feel really like it wanted to hear, or I couldn't get my vocals to be on there. You know how an aux cord is. It's just outrageously crazy. But in my opinion, I think like during his album cycle, he was having a problem with his ex, and I was feeling really bad I was feeling really bad for him, honestly, because his life was miserable around that time with that girl that he used to hang out with. Her girl makes music too as well, and it's not really as good. I could say Fugo's songs is really great than hers, honestly. There's some songs I could say, like I could tell you, I think they're both mid, but I just don't like the way how their relationship was, because I remember how awful it was, how the ex would like stalk Fugal, and it'd be crazy. It'd be nuts. It'd be crazy. We had conversations and stuff, and we was even making songs with other artists that he was in touch with, and we was gonna make a couple songs together, and we just didn't do any of it. So, anyways, I think if I had to say the vibe of me and Fugal, I'd say it'd be a C/B, because it was just a horrible experience. Hey mom, I'm recording. I'm recording. Why? Why am I in pain? Okay, 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 okay. Actually, it's in the PC room. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but yeah. So I'd rate that a C, because it was just awful for Fugal. I have to deal with. But anyways, yeah. Well, I was like, as I was talking about, well, I want to take a little bit of time to tell you something. I might have to go to the emergency because my heart's not really doing good. I'm not sure. So we're gonna have to. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I've been having some toothaches with my tooth in my mouth, and it's just crazy because my tooth. We went to the dentist, and they said I have a decaying tooth, so I might have to get my tooth uh, root canaled or something to it. So we've been having a little problems, and they put me on prescriptions, and they had my heart. Yeah, I mean, no, they gave me prescriptions so that way it'd heal my teeth to not be so stupid and stubborn and sensitive. And so I had the pills. This is crazy story too. This has nothing to do with this, but I almost overdosed, ladies and gentlemen, because I took a pill. Um, like it was like actually I took two pills in one day. That was scary. Oh my goodness, when my mom told me it was overdose, oh, it's just awful. But anyways, I'm alive. I'm alive. Okay, yay! Where's the confetti? Throw it, throw it. Thank you, Jesus, for protecting me. Okay. So the next one is Fugo Rhymes Wake Up. I remember this is like the second song that me and Fugo made. And when I was making this, it was okay. I think I remembered he had like a whole bunch of concepts of a song, and he had like a flow going on. I remembered he'd release a bunch of singles. And you know what I will give this? I'll give this a A tier. I thought working like with him and starting to get to know his music a lot, his vibe was so dr- drawn to me. Like he had a whole bunch of vibes and stuff, like his rhymes. He taught me so well with making music, and I've got to give it to him. He's really amazing, and I thought starting to getting to know him more is just amazing. So I give this guy an A tier because this song, when I was making it, I know the lyrics might not sound great, but the story onto making all these songs have stuff and it has stories, and that's why it's based off of the tier ranking stuff. So yeah, so that's what I'll give it. Um, I think that's all for the video. These are just extras because there was another song, by the way, called "Run It Up," and I didn't add it on there. But "Run It Up," and also "She Loved Me." I think "She Loved Me" and "Run It Up." I think they're both like B. Honestly, if I had to give it, so "Run It Up" and "She Loved Me," I'd say it'd be right there. Found the extra projects I actually had. I forgot to mention this. How can I forget George's track that me and him did? I'm sorry, George. Can't believe I forget that. Please forgive me, George. I did not have that on. Oh, that's stupid. I couldn't find. I also found the "She Loved Me" picture, so that was one. Can't find the "Run It" because it's buried in this crap. So it like. But anyways, yeah. So here's a little bit of added context. So there's a song called "Energy" off of "Just Having Fun" Volume 3, and me and George did it. I remembered we was at the old house I used to live in. I remembered when making this song, I was on top of the stoop. I was actually sitting on top of the stoop, and I was just trying to come up. It was like the sounds I can remember around me. There was a fan around me, and it was around nighttime. I think it was like around 11 o'clock in afternoon, and I remembered, yeah, me and him was trying to find a song. I asked him if he wanted me to be on the project because it was originally, fun fact, it was supposed to be Crimson on his track Energy, and he didn't finish it. So because he did a live stream, TBO George did a live stream on his YouTube channel, and we were talking about it. You can still see the past conversations. We were talking about stuff and crap, and yeah, he was playing his album, his Volume 3, and asked him if he wanted me to be hop on it, and he said sure. He invited me onto it, as you can tell from his live stream. Now for me to rank this, this might seem kind of crazy to rank, but I think it's a C. I honestly just think it's a C because it's just I don't think I did good with the HD on that one. I can consider it maybe a vibe. I will consider it as a vibe. I don't hate. There's nothing I hate about it. It's just that I didn't like how like my vocals had to be so smoothed in, and me coming up with like lyrics for the word energy. I never had the thought of making a song called Energy, and energy. I just didn't have nothing to say, so I had to come up with these words. So hard, kind of. And yeah, I guess I said I have so much energy, never tired. I don't need that caffeine. Yeah, because it just makes sense. It just fits energy really that much because I'm more of like a hyper kind of guy. I'm more of like a morning person. If I had to describe myself, my sleeping route, I'd be up till like 10, and yeah, you know the vibe. You know the vibe, ladies and gentlemen. So I guess making the song Energy happened. So yeah, that's the story about it. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Just subscribe, hit the post notifications if we can get to the my area. Hold on a second. Sorry. Yeah, post notifications, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.